Well, good morning, guys. I've spent the last 3 weeks tricking out my truck camper to the nines. I've been using this really cool new power pack. It's the DJI Power 1000, and it's basically provided all of the power requirements to build this truck camper, this overlander. We're doing a special project today, and today involves doing, well, you know, putting this old girl out to pasture. Well, sort of, anyways. Seen a lot of miles, and it's ready to do another adventure. It's got such high miles on it. I figured I should just keep it and turn it into sort of a camper, like a permanent camper, overlander sort of thing. Wherever the heck I want and stay. I don't have to stay in a hotel. Just stay in the back of my truck. The rocker panels are a little questionable. Mechanically wise, it's in great shape, but I do want to make it cool. So let's get started right now. It's not like super bad, it's just like half bad. I was talking to myself there for a little while. It's funny because I'm always talking to myself. All right, so they put these little aluminum things in with these metal bolts that just kind of shear off. They just kind of, or they just twist it off. Yeah, aluminum to metal, not so well. They should have used stainless. Well, that worked out better in my mind than it actually did in person. There's pretty preliminary leaf blow. I think I got it. How do I look? How do I look? I think I ate some of that. Don't eat lunch now. All right, so now we got a pretty much clean slate to work on the back of it. So the idea here is to pretty much make it like a cooler. I want to make it fully insulated, you know, 4-season sort of camper, so I can heat it, cool it. Material wise, I think I'm going to use my garage door panels because I have a lot of them. They're like already, you know, metal on both sides, so I don't really have to do anything beyond fit and attach it. But that doesn't mean I'm not gonna. You know what I mean? It's a good starting point. So let's see what I can scrounge up. I also want to make it removable. Probably with a couple of slings on the top, just lift it out if I ever needed to. Like say if I was going to put it in a different truck. So let's, I'm just gonna start throwing pieces together and see where they land. Well, it didn't take too long, and if you guys are looking to actually do this yourself and you got garage door panels and you're thinking these things are difficult to cut, they're not actually difficult to cut. I actually was using this thin metal Diablo skill saw blade. I call it skill saw blade. It's a circular saw blade, a 6.5 inch on this is the battery operated Makita, and it cuts it pretty much like butter. In a pinch, you can also use a angle grinder. I don't like it because it smells like burning. Well, it shoots a little bit of metal, but not that much metal. Just wearing your safety glasses. Got the old safety specs on, but yeah, that didn't take very long. Sky's the limit. I got so much stuff I can just install in here. It'll be really cool. This is going easier than I thought it was going to go. These are the side panels that you would traditionally see on a garage door. I don't need them for the sides to actually make garage doors. So what I'm going to use them for is splice brackets. So what it's going to do is going to hold this panel and this panel together. It's also going to allow me to screw the upright panel to the base panel, essentially locking it all in place. So I've actually pre-drilled some screws here. I've got a couple of, you could use self-tappers if you wanted to. I'm going to position pretty much in the middle. It's like a mending plate. So that's going to screw that there. This gap between here is going to get sealed at some point. So we're going to slide it into the channel right like that. And then we put a couple of screws in here, which allows the panel to stay stuck. Just sink it right in there. You could also put some glue in there. I was doing some pondering and seeing what kind of material I have kicking around. So the garage doors come in two different sizes. One's a 21-inch panel, the other one's a 24-inch panel. So what I'm thinking of doing is probably putting a lower panel, like a 21-inch panel, and then putting a 24-inch panel on top of that. And that'll give me probably enough headroom, and it won't be too high. I don't really want to stick it up much past the cab because, well, aerodynamics and that kind of thing. And yeah, you just don't want this thing to be like crazy obnoxious or like, you know, decrease your fuel efficiency because it's a big box. So that's the plan. But the roof's going to stick up a little bit past. Maybe I'll put like a little front scoop or like a granny nick on the front of it. There's lots of different ways to skin a cat, they say. So let's just keep cutting. I'm going to keep adding. Well, that wasn't so bad. It didn't take very long to actually get all that put together. Basically, you're using it like you would Lego bricks. You just basically start at the bottom and work your way up. Now, a lot of these panels, problem with them is that they're scratched or dented, which, you know, you kind of have to use what you got. So what the plan is to do once they're all in is to fill any holes that that are out there in order to prevent leakage. There's also a waterproofing I'm going to put on top of the entire thing once it's all put together. There, you can see inside we've got our basic structure. You guys wondering why I have a window here? Well, this is so I can actually see from the cab of the truck into the back of the camper, and that would be kind of cool. Now I'm thinking of putting a window on both walls. Actually, I've got a couple garage doors that have windows on, so the plan is to put a window there and a window on the other side. I think in the U-Haul world, this little section here is called the grandma's attic or something like that. You put all your breakables there. I was thinking of this panel for the door. And the reason being is because it's already brown. It's already pre-colored, and it's got, like, you can cut it at a certain section. Well, check that out. I didn't even measure it, and it fits, like, perfect. Yeah, I don't know how that works, but it does. When you have a small space, usually you center your door, but I think what I'm going to do in this case is I'm actually going to favor left side. So it's going to be, like, asymmetrical, so it gives me a lot of room here to do other stuff, and then this will open up and have space here. So I'm just going to put like a 3-inch chunk here. Another thing I was going to ask you guys is recommendations on sleeping bags. Now I was looking at on the website on Cabela's Bass Pro Shops, their website. I was trying to pick which sleeping bag is the proper sleeping bag, and I'm not sure if you want to go for like crazy cold and then you just kind of leave it open if it's not crazy cold, or if you go for something like, you know, they got it down to minus like 50 or something like that. Do you want to go that route, or do you want to go something that like you try to match your climate? Because it's been on the list for a while now, and I haven't really, like the one I have is from when I was a kid. We're just charging up the pack. I was at 50% after I charged up those batteries. So just gonna throw the charger solar panel on. We'll see how well she does. It's got pretty much full sun. Well, we've got the one side of the door pretty much attached and kind of secure. Now, usually we use a level on this sort of thing, but since the truck's not level, I am going to use the old, make sure it's square. I think what'll happen is if you don't open it in, somebody in theory could just close the tailgate and you'd be stuck in there. And that would be bad news bears. Probably put a screen door on this thing because I don't really want to punch a hole in this door. Normally I would put lights, but I'm going to put lights or windows on the sides. Sky's the limit when you're doing it yourself. It's very custom. Oh, there's lots of stuff to do. Let's just get her done. All right, it's exterior cladding time, and I've always kind of wanted to do this. I want to take old wire spools like this. I've got like a boatload of them, and I want to clad the exterior of thinking, cue time lapse. Cue the time lapse. Cue it. Just do it. Do it. Just poof. 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 Does that even work? I think it only works on TikTok. Poof. I think it's really cool to kind of do like a mixed media thing. So like steel, wood, glass, metal. Like we're just doing all of the cloud. Add some rock in there maybe for the holes. That'd be kind of neat. But anyways, yeah, I've always wanted to do kind of like wire spool cladding. So that's what I'm going to do. These are actually really thin. If you look at how thin those things are, and they're going to go on the outside on this, I'm going to call it the accent wall. Because, yeah, I think it needs something. Otherwise, it just looks like a really big cooler on wheels. It is cool, though. So, yeah, we're just going to end up putting these guys on. Hopefully shouldn't take too long. I just got to make a square because it's a round. Make it a square and a round, and then just plop her back on and hope for the best. Maybe I can put my rock collection in those little holes. That's kind of neat. Anyways, we're going to see how it goes. I don't think it's going to take very long because it's not very much square footage, but it is again, it is hard because you got round and you got square and round. Make it work. Anyways, we're going to start off with that guy. We're going to start making it square, and you guys can see it probably will take like that to do it, but hey, it's going to look cool. It looks okay on camera, doesn't it? All right, now we just got to do some trim work. I check and see if the tailgate closes. Oh yeah, she closes nice. So the plan is to not get the trim past the... Actually, I can put the trim past there because the tailgate's all bent. Just put it on, hope for the best. Maybe there's enough play in that. There's a lot of squeaking going on. Oh well, start nailing and see what happens. Got an idea. I think it's good. I think it's a good idea. Close now. Close is better. Why didn't I do that a long time ago? I think that's a feature now. Well, that fits way better. It does close better. All right, let's see if I can get it to look trimmy. All right, so we got the trim on, and it's so close. So close. Why won't that close? Ah, why? What are you hitting? Ah! Come on. Well, I think that's going to be future Kevin's problem. It doesn't quite get far enough into the thing to actually latch, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to leave it for now because, well, it's a little frustrating to get it to latch. All right, we got a first look inside the camper. I just got to put like seating and a table and a bed and stuff like that. So I'm thinking this is the kind of the wall I want my bed on. A little more homey in here. I got to cut some windows in. Definitely windows. It's promising. Will it fit? Oh, she's not gonna fit. Measure once, cut twice. Round two. Oh, which side did I cut? Uh-oh. Oh yeah, like a glove. Well, that's beautiful. Beautiful. I like it a lot. So the plan is to actually put a couple of screws in the wall to kind of like get it sit on, and then I'm going to anchor it further that way. Perfect. How's that? That's pretty cool, actually. Gives me enough room for bedding underneath the window. All right, we're good. I ended up putting a couple of really long screws in through the actual entire wall to attach it. And then over there, I ended up using actually a couple of screws that screws into the panel, and I just kind of folded the base in, and that locked it in place. So it's actually going to keep it really structurally sound in here. Well, I had a little bit of problems installing that window because the jamb or the wall thickness is thicker than the window extension. I probably should have just used the glass and made my own trim, but as stubborn as I am, I ended up using a little bit of trim wood, and I did a jamb extension on the inside, but that means my screws won't get into my thing. So what I did was actually glued it. So I'm just gonna put that there while the glue sets the garage door window into a, well, I guess it's a garage door panel, but there's wood on it. So anyway, I think it looks pretty darn slick. The jamb extension there, you can see the hardwood that's it's extending it to there, which gives it a nice little finish. Horseshoes, hand grenades, and doors. Almost close. I think that works. Oh, that's just the ceiling. Ever so slightly though. Oh yeah. What? All right, well, it comes a time in every construction where you got to clean up a little bit in order to get some more stuff done. So I'm at the stage now where I've got way too much crud everywhere, and I'm gonna vacuum because, well, it's just satisfying to see where you've got to at this point in the game. So again, I haven't really tried the DJI Power 1000 with the central vac. I'm sure it'll handle it, right? It should handle it. Let's see. Turn that on. 1300 watts, not bad. Anyway, I'm just gonna give this thing a big, little bit of a clean, because I'm just tired of eating the dust. Even when I went doing construction back in the day, residential, I always bring a shop vac and just blow everything outside, sort of thing, because no vacuum is, the filter's not the greatest. I'm killing batteries. There we go. It says I can operate this thing for 24 minutes. Not bad. Well, the plan today is to make this thing a little bit more waterproofy. I'm working on the waterproofiness of it. So the plan is to basically bang all these holes or these protrusions in a little bit, and then fill them, and then do my horizontal seams, which are here, but they're overlapping, so I'm not too worried about water infiltration there. I did seal a little bit of the cracks that are in here, so this is more of a like a double extra precaution. The product I'm using is liquid rubber and a geotextile, which is going to bridge the gap. It's also going to add some structural rigidity to the whole build. But what I'm doing is actually, wherever there was a garage door panel protrusion, I'm just banging those in because, well, one, they're really sharp, and two, it'll make it easier to fill. I'm probably just going to put some cheap caulking in there, and then waterproofing over top. You can see my fasteners where I've actually screwed through the panel itself into the existing panel across. There's actually PL Premium holding that together, and yeah. So I'm just going to trim some of that stuff off and get my horizontal pieces all waterproofed in place, and we should be good to go. I'm doing all my flats first and then my corners, because that's kind of how I would drywall tape. But yeah, it should be really solid when this thing's done. And waterproof. This is what I'm talking about with the geotextile. It kind of looks like toilet paper, but it's got the strength of 1,000 men. It doesn't pull apart, and you can't rip it, you can't thing, but it's actually a product from liquid rubber, and it's designed to bridge the gap. If you got any kind of like parts that are two parts and you want to consolidate them, this stuff is the stuff to go. I'm actually quite impressed with it. And you kind of put it on like wallpaper. You put some liquid rubber down below, then you put the stuff on top of it, and it creates a waterproof seal. And then you put a couple coats on top of it just to kind of even it up. So what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to cut all my pieces, because it's not the funnest to work with once it's all kind of coated in goo. So you just basically, you're going to run it the length of your thing where you're covering it, and you just kind of cut it. Just kind of let that sit there, so I'm ready for it once it's all covered, because I want to be able to just kind of put it on. And like I said, I'm doing the flats first, and then I'll do all my corners. I'm going to rough up the surface a little bit in order for my stuff to stick a little better. I give myself a little bit of a stir, and this is the stuff. Now, you're thinking, this is going to be awfully Christmassy being green and all. Well, the plan is to actually make it black, but I don't have enough black, so I'm going to use, I have a lot of green, not a lot of black. So I'm going to put a base coat of green on it and then put black on top of it. So it's great about this stuff is it doesn't smell like anything. It actually smells good. I'm not sure what's in there, but it's like, it doesn't smell harmful at all. It's like zero VOC stuff. Liberally apply it to my joints. Wish I could apply it to all my joints, make them feel better. All right, well, we've got the preliminary waterproofing pretty much done, the color-wise anyways. I want it to be black once it's everything's painted, but I did promise my daughter that we would take this thing out to the fireworks this evening, so that's what we're gonna do. I've got to kind of extract the camper trailer out of the bush and head on over to the fireworks. So, you know what? You guys can join us too. We can have a look, and we can kind of give it a little test run. Might be a little more difficult than I thought. I can't actually back out the way I came in. I have to cut a trail. So, yeah, we're gonna see if we can just squeak by here. Wait, what?
Put my hood on.
Wait, yeah, you're gonna be your little. What are you? What are you?
I'm a jaguar.
You're a little jaguar.
Yeah.
Cool. We're waiting for it to get dark, right?
Yeah, because dun dun dun.
What's going on?
Fireworks.
That's gonna be exciting, right?
Yeah.
And we got like a front row seat. You've claimed the upper loft as your bed.
I know. I don't want to be up there.
You don't want to be up there? Well, you don't have to be up there. You can be underneath. You got lots of room up there. It looks cozy.
Bro, it's not cozy. I have the grossest bed ever. There's glue everywhere.
Well, it's not quite done yet. Can you lay on your side? That's perfect. All right, well, we're gonna work those things out. In the meantime, we're gonna wait until it gets dark out so we can actually watch some fireworks. Finish the cabin up a little later. Yeah. What do you think?
I think they're amazing. Woo, that one was neat.
Yeah, that's a big one there too.
I think I can eat them.
That's a big one.
Grand finale. Whoa!
You guys aren't gonna believe what I found last night driving back. So there was a scrap trailer that was chucking about a bunch of stuff. So I actually ended up getting everything, including the kitchen sink and the bathroom sink, because I figured that's what I needed. Also, which is a rare commodity around my parts, is a handle for a screen door. So that's actually why I need a little screen door, is because of the profile, like how skinny that is. In order to get the doorknob in, I basically had to cut a channel into the existing garage door panel, and then I carefully fit the actual knob inside, and I kind of had to do a little bit of arts and crafts in order to get the latching mechanism to go in and out. And as it turns out, this thing is for a door that swings the other way, so I'm gonna have to do a little bit more modification to the actual catch in order for it to stay, but I'm pretty pleased with the way it turned out. All right, well, it's time to get rid of these unsightly metal things that are in this cabin, and I got a special tool for that. It's cool tool time. This is the Inkerma thing. It's hard. It's like a tape measure. It's a tape measure, but it's digital, and it basically helps you. Yeah, usually, you know, you're ready. You're used to doing this. You take your tape measure and you go like that, and you kind of just trying to fudge it. You're like, 57.5, and you're like, oh, and a couple ones. This one here, you basically take it on the hard place. You put it and you hit the OK button, and it measures it. 13.46 inches. Bang on, like 13.5. This one's not so hard to measure. It's when you got a rock and a hard place. So like wall to wall. This is kind of cool, but it's not quite big enough. Like you could just put it there and then you just have a sink and no prep area. So I was thinking just make it a little bit wider and a little bit deeper. Same sort of roundness on it. So if you came bump in it, and you still get the door open. So I'm gonna see if I can fashion something up out of light gauge stuff. I don't know what kind of material this is. It's like, you know, styrofoam plywood. Don't I feel a little silly after all this time? I've been, I was wondering, why did this DJI pack not have a 12-volt adapter? And I was like, this is strange. Why doesn't it have a cigarette lighter adapter? And the thing is what they've done is they've actually made it a dongle, which is actually quite clever because you don't need it very often, right? So what they've done is they've included this little adapter here. I'm not sure exactly what kind of port that is, but what it does is you just plug it into your to the pack as an accessory, and it gives you your legacy port, which again is not used very often. But in this case, what I've done is I've actually wired everything up 12 volt. I was using a big old car battery, and as it turns out, I don't even need to use a cardboard battery because look at, I just plug that in there, and I've got light. That's cool. All right, back to building. We're gonna be back to building because we're building our sink because I want to have that pretty much set up in my prep area, and then I want to incorporate some sort of receptacle on this side because I want to be able to plug in like a induction range because I was thinking of using gas, like natural gas or propane gas, and I'm probably going to avoid that because it is such a confined space, and in the event of rain, whatever, you don't really want to have the door open, window open. This thing's kind of evolving as I'm building. I'm just kind of adding features as I think of them, but yeah, our budget is currently nothing. This is a chunk from a garage door panel. It's fancy aluminum. Aluminium. Give it a little bit more meat to hold on to. Ow, my ears. Okay. That's pretty good. In the event of a tornado, hide under this kitchen sink. Alright, we got our water system set up. Now, you can go as fancy as like putting a water pump in here, but I figure I'm just gonna have it gravity fed, because in reality, I'm gonna use this to wash my hands. You know, I'm sure there's more elegant solutions than this. You go to Cabela's Bass Pro, and you know, you get like a RV water pump. I can turn it on trickle, and I can have my water here. See, got my water. All right, one more finishing touch I think I'm gonna do with this guy is, this is a kind of a sharp edge. Now I was looking for some black pipe. I don't have any black pipe. I got some clear pipe. And you're gonna notice a lot of these pipes have like a natural curve to them, and you wanna kind of work with that curve, because otherwise you're just gonna be fighting an anaconda, or you may not have to silicone it on, depending on how well it sits there. It lends itself pretty good. It's got that lip, nothing falls off. It's childproof, it's not gonna cut you. And it also helps keep stuff on the countertop from sliding off, sliding around. Just dusting off the old Kenwood. Ever seen a Kenwood toaster before? I don't know if it was in a junk pile or something like that. And I was like, this is a really nice toaster. I went to the old resistance heating because the induction one died after like a very short period of time. And I think it has something to do with either the humidity or the fact of technology that's in there. I just didn't want to have to deal with that again. It's not a well-balanced pan, I guess because I'm on a little bit of a tilt, but there. So I got that. You know what, ideally, I think we should just hang those guys up there. Got a little refrigerator set up down here. This is actually doubles as a freezer as well, so it's kind of cool. It's cool, that's funny. And it is 12 volt. It's hooking up right to the DJI right now, so it runs on 12 volt. You can hook it up to your car. It's my favorite part of the build, the bed. Oh! It's been a long haul. This bed is super comfy. I ended up finding a piece of foam, which is crazy that you find a piece of foam. That's like the one thing that is really hard to find. It's because foam is generally just used until it's disgusting. Oh, those are the outside lights. There we go. And then you got just your ambient glow of the under, so you can see where you get up. I'm sleepy already. Well, I should give you guys the official tour. I'm going to start at the front of the truck camper, and basically the material that I used was excessive garage door panels. These are actually reused garage door panels. They pretty much ended their life as garage doors, and now they are basically an insulated structural panel that has been coated with a product called liquid rubber. Seams are all coated with a geotextile, which allows them to be waterproof, double waterproof actually, because there's actually a garage door seam there, and then the waterproofing is on top of it. And did I mention they're insulated? So they have a layer of styrofoam in between, like traditional campers, which are like made of sticks and just bad insulation, and they tend to allow water in, and then they fester, and then they turn into a mold habitat. Our windows, which are again garage door windows, they're reused from garage doors, and they're a thermal pane, so they're going to keep all our cold and our hot in, or our cold and our hot out, depending on which season it is. Again, another garage door panel, which I just cut in half and used as a door. So the garage door is being used as a door. Pot lights in the thing, I actually managed to fish them inside the panel. You can actually see the top. The top doesn't, it's very narrow top. I left the top white to reflect a little bit of heat. I only did my seams, as you can see there, so keep it nice and watertight. This is my DJI Power 1000 power pack. It's currently powering the light fixtures, which is a 12 volt. It's got a little bit of a dongle here, which connects to my power block that gives me lighting on the inside. So on the inside, I've got two 12 volt pot lights that give off a lot of light. I also have an under bed lighting strip, which gives me kind of an ambient glow for nighttime activities, and you don't want the glow to just kind of be you know, shining in your face. This piece of foam, which allows us, well, it's a nice sleeping area. Up top we have sort of like the granny storage area, which has our water tote, which is about 5 gallons of water that feeds our sink. And we've got a chair, which is a Cabela Bass Pro portable chair. The idea behind that thing is to you can actually sit it on the tailgate and relax. And I got storage area up here for like blankets and pillows and sleeping bags and whatnot, which brings us over to here, which I got another little three, like a tripod stool. Brings us over to our kitchen area, cooking area, which we have a cooktop, which is a resistance coil, which can be hooked up to the DJI 1000. Gives us lots of juice that way. And then I got my toaster, because toasters are useful. And then I've got my water system, which is essentially gravity fed from the top here. So if you want to wash your hands or whatnot, you can actually turn your water on and it drains out the bottom of the truck. Can you see that down here? I have a 12 volt refrigerator. We've got some area for some future consideration. We have our power pack under here, which is powering the whole thing. And I got my gold panning supplies under here. I may, at a later date, decide to build some sort of shelving down here to house maybe clothing. Yeah, we got a center post that allows me to hold up my my countertop. And then I've got some pots and pans hung up, and if you've ever had a cabin, the idea is to hang them up so the mice don't get in and decide to poop in them. Something that is missing, maybe something that I overlooked, be sure to add it in the comments below. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed making it, and join me on the next one.